Hello, and welcome to another live with me, Jessica from the Tunisian Crochet Graphghan Boutique. I will give everybody a few minutes to pop on because I know it takes a while for the notification to go out. Sorry for the delay. Last night I was not feeling so well. My little germ factory brought home sickness from the school. So yes, last night I went to sleep, tried to get myself a little bit better. This time of year, the kids are touching everything and not washing their hands, and germs. So tonight's pattern is going to be a free panel that we have in Mosaic, so you guys can go over and grab that. Sandra will probably post a link here shortly. Anna said, good evening, hope you feel better soon. Thank you. I'll be alright. It just takes a little bit. I wanted to send out a huge thank you to the Yarn Angels that we have here. Our member that needed hooks got them, and she is super thrilled that they have a swivel cable and that they are absolutely fantastic, and she's over the moon because she's been having a really hard time lately, and this has just pushed her right over the edge, so this is, just perfect. Hey Lisa, hey Sandra, thank you for posting the link. So yeah. We are nursing a ginger ale and Fireball out my throat.
I'm gonna go get in the shower.
Yes, clean it up when you're done.
Alright.
Make sure you clean out the drain screen too. So while I was on my adventures camping, I found this little bag that they had a little cellar, and I know everybody that's into horror movies is going to laugh, but the new It from Derry, PA, there's or Derry, where it is coming out, I think a series on HBO or something like that. So I was spending time up in Derry. But I like cows, and they had a cow pattern bag with a button on it, and the inside has these beautiful flowers, and I thought this would be perfect to hold my yarn. So as I'm working, I have my yarn balled up in there, and it works perfect. And one of the little local crafters up there made it, and she didn't have a card or anything, otherwise I would share with you guys, but she had a bunch of nice sewn things that were gorgeous. So, and we now have a new addition to getting older. So, here's my new addition. I have had to get glasses because seeing, my old eyes, they aren't what they used to be. So I have had to go get glasses, which I got bifocals last year, and I did not like them at all. I couldn't see anything. I was falling all over the place. I was like, these aren't worth it. So I have a pair of cheaters, and then my glasses. So luckily that my eyesight's not bad, but it's things are a little fuzzy, and I have to get a little closer than I used to be able to see. So glasses are a new. They're new for me. Everybody in my family has had glasses since they've been little, except for me. So I guess I dodged that for a while. It is so nice that we have the group that we have, and I cannot tell you guys how thankful I am that we have such a family knit group that, when we need something for one of the members, you guys volunteer to help out or do, and, I work with people in designing patterns and things like that, quite can't afford things and are having a hard time. So it's nice that you know, when the yarn angels and hook angels step up. Like I said, she's really been having a hard time, and she's over the moon, thrilled to death with the set of hooks she got. So, and swivel cables, and I've heard about it for the last 2 or 3 days, and it's been really nice. It's nice to be appreciated for the kind things that you do in the world we live in today. You know, thank you isn't exactly said as much as it used to be. I think we're in a culture where people kind of expect things now. They're entitled. So to hear thank you several times is very nice. And with me, you know, a thank you will go a long way. So I just wanted to give a shout out there to people. I had my cuff made for my sweater that I'm about to start. And I had it all made, and we got camping, and I was out there, and I kind of wrapped the ribbing about myself, and I was like, I wonder why I made this so long. So then I decided, you know, this is all the longer it needs to be, so I frogged all these rows. Well, needless to say, after some coffee, I realized why I needed all them extra rows. So now I get to add more ribbing to my ribbing that I already frogged. So, you know, even with the best of us come challenges, and sometimes especially before coffee. We will be having another pillow panel come in the Mosaic event this year. That'll be released at the beginning of December. So for those of you that did the Grinch or the back of that panel that had the trees on it, we have another one coming that kind of looks like the trees. It's based on the trees. It's got another little design in it instead of the trees. So we have that coming. We also have a stocking. The stocking's going to be released at the beginning of November. And so we have that going on. I have been thrilled to death to see all of the hot pads that got done. I'm super excited about that. Those really came out nice, and I've seen a lot of colors come into play that I really liked, and it gives you more ideas for things, because sometimes when you see something and you design it, you kind of have this picture in your mind, and then somebody else works it up in another color, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's, you know, even better than I pictured. So it's nice that creative processes here to see, everybody's color palettes are different, so it's nice to see those come into play. So does anybody have any questions about anything that we're going to be doing? There will be a tutorial coming up here soon for the locker hooks that I talked about 2 weeks ago. Nooking hooks, locker hooks. I mean, you can pretty much interchange the two. The difference between a nooking hook and a locker hook is a nooking hook, pretty much no matter what, the eye hole is bigger based on the weight of yarn that it's supposed to be used for. With locker hooks, the eye is bigger based on the thickness of the fabric that can go into there. So they can be pretty much interchangeable, but we will be using locker hooks for a band that we will be doing, and there will be a tutorial on how to do the stitch that we're going to use. But if you are familiar with the Tunisian simple stitch and you're familiar with the Tunisian purl stitch, then this should come pretty easy to you guys. The only thing is with nooking, they use knitting terms. So one of the things that's going to throw you guys when we do a video for it is that, and I will discuss this in the video as well, the Tunisian simple stitch that we're doing is the same as the knit stitch in locker hooking or nooking. So you're going to go through the stitch just like you're making a TSS, but that is actually going to create a knit stitch in the locker hooking, nooking method. And then your purl stitch is going to be pretty much completed kind of the same way. You guys will see it in the video, but if you're familiar with the simple stitch and the purl stitch, then you guys pretty much have this down. Your cast on can be either long tail cast on, like that you use for knitting. You can use a knitting cast on if you want to, or you could use the regular cast on that we use for the Tunisian foundation. So you chain and then work into your back bumps. You can do any of those. It depends on how much stretch you want to it. So when we do the video, I'm going to give everybody like 2 weeks of watching the video to be able to work up their swatch, become familiar with the terms, because they are a little bit different, even though they're the same thing, basically, that we do in Tunisian. But I'm going to give everybody 2 weeks before we release what we're going to do for the band. So that'll give you guys time to play around with things. And I know that Christmas is coming up. I know everybody doesn't like to hear the C word right now, but Christmas is coming up, and I know everybody's going to be working on Christmas projects for people and everything else, so it's going to play a factor in what you want to do when you want to do this. I was thinking once we got this started, we could leave this up for a couple months, because I know with Christmas being around the corner, everybody sees all these cows that all want to start for the holiday, and then you have so many of them that you're all over the place. So I think that, you know, for us, it's better to leave it up. And what I do, because I don't just work on my own crochet patterns, I do other patterns with other people's designs. When you do that, I like to put what cows are coming up, that a designer announces, and then I put it in my calendar when it starts and when it ends, to see if it's feasible for me to fit into that time frame. So that's why with us, I like to put it in that it's starting on this time and it's ending on this time, because then you can set a reminder for like every week, or when you know you should have time, to be able to set that time in and say, you know what, I know that in November I will have plenty of time to make the stocking, make the hat, make the hot pads, whatever. So that's why we like to leave ours up as long as we do. When we put up the next panel for the mosaic pillow, the Grinch panel will come down. So those posts will be deleted, that pattern will be deleted. So if you guys have not made it and want to, you need to go in and grab the snippets, and or go over to the store and purchase it. It's only a few dollars. The money that I make from my pattern sales usually goes right back into our community with hooks for members, yarn for members. We just had a member here that had a huge fire, and she needed yarn and things, and so out of the money that I made from sales this year, that's where the money went to. We have a little girl in our community that has cancer, and she likes to crochet, so I did a fundraiser for some things for her and donated to that. So you know, this is more of like a hobby for me than it is actually a job. So I like the fact that whatever I make, I can donate back into the community for classes or whatnot. And I do offer, you know, classes, and I do have one-on-ones with members as well behind the scenes. So if anybody's looking for any of that, feel free to hit me up. The donations that I got for the raffle basket and stuff like that came from sales. I offered a free pattern with a donation of so much So I sold a few patterns that way, and people got something out of it, as well as being able to raise money for the gift baskets that were raffled off to pay for this little girl's mom's parking and meals while she's at the hospital, because it's not covered where she's at right now. So I like to give back to the community. I think it feels good to help those around you that don't have or need. So that's been nice. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've talked about? Have you guys picked up your locker hooks or your nook hooks? Have you found them okay? Are you excited about any one of the cows that are coming up? It seems like, you know, a lot of groups will say they're going to host something, and then there's a lot of people that do the cows. But then you see groups that don't have cows, and there's people complaining that people don't do cows in there, but yet some of the groups that do have cows, you usually don't have a lot of people that do them. I think that's why a lot of designers are now offering paid cows, and I don't want to go down that road. I like doing this together and doing, you know, all of us doing it together. So let me know in the comments below what you think about paid cows and cows in general. Do you like doing them? Do you find that people don't leave them up long enough? Give me some input down below so I know how to help the group better when we do them, because it seems like the people that join me for the lives are the ones that end up doing and joining in a lot of the cows that we do have. What else do we have going on? There's a lot of things going to be happening here in the next couple months until January. We have a lot of things going on and a lot of learning things. I am excited about doing the getting some of the videos up and putting them on your YouTube channel. I do like that this nooking pattern that we're doing, I like the amount of stretch that it has to it. I think it's going to be very interesting to add the ribbing to the hats, because as you know, a lot of stitches with Tunisian are not so reversible. They're not as reversible as other stitches, so because the pearl bumps are on the back. So I like the fact that with this ribbing, it's going to add squishy ribbing that's going to have some give to it, unlike a lot of the Tunisian, like simple stitch or knit stitch, doesn't really have a lot of stretch. What else? With me being sick, my brain's kind of fried right now. So does anybody have any questions about anything I've talked about so far? And I know it takes a second for comments to come through, and I know sometimes there's a lag. We will be sending some patterns out here shortly to testers as well. And then I am going to have a larger mosaic blanket coming out that I'm going to need tested. So if someone is interested in that, please let me know. It can be worked up in regular mosaic, or it can be worked up in Tunisian mosaic. It just depends on your preference. But yeah, I'm going to need a tester for that. Honestly, that blanket is not going to be one of them ones that's going to be like, oh my gosh, you're pressured to get it done in such and such amount of time. Because I know with a blanket, a lot of people feel the pressure to get it done, and then they end up getting burnt out on it. So honestly, this blanket I would like to have released by August of next year, so we have time. I think that pretty much wraps up everything on my end. So is everybody able to find their hooks okay? I'm assuming that's a yes because, like I said, the comments are taking their good old time, like they do sometimes. So I was thinking about holding a yearly stocking pattern in RT Cows, and then that way you could do a different stocking each year. So again, put down in the comments what you think about that. I think that coming out with a yearly stocking and releasing the image of it, then that would give you guys an idea if you wanted to work it up, or that way you could schedule what cows you want to work on in what groups. Because like I said, I know around the holidays it gets really hard to work that stuff up and then fall into what cow you're going to work when, and some of them have like really short time frames, and I try not to do that here because I know life happens, and you know, there's so many cows that have been free and stuff that I've seen that people are started and then life happens and they're like, I didn't get a chance to finish it, now I gotta buy the pattern or frog it. So I know that can be difficult. What else do we have? I think that's about it that we have going on. I'm still working on the ribbing for the sweater. As I said earlier, I just ripped out a bunch of it because I didn't have coffee and was like, oh, I'll just sit here and crochet this morning. I don't know why I made this so large. And then I was like, I know why, after I frogged all these rows. So yeah, I've got to use my little ball and work about 80 rows back in there. So the pillow pattern for the testers that I have over here will be posted over in the tester chat probably this next week with an image of what the blanket, the mosaic blanket that we're going to be doing that I need testers for, is going to what the pattern is. So you guys can decide if you want to do that as well. And since the blanket, you know, is a large piece, I will be offering a few incentives. You will get a few gifts from me, including 2 free patterns from the website, and I will be sending out a gift to you for making it up, because I do appreciate everybody's time. I think that pretty much wraps everything up here. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to wrap things up for the evening. Make sure you go over to the Payhip and log in and grab that pattern, because if you don't log in and then you are looking for it later on, I don't have your email that you downloaded it, so then I kind of have to take your word for it. So if you guys go in and create a Payhip account, it's free, and then go in and grab my free pattern, and it'll go to your email, and it lets me know that you downloaded it under your email anyway. And I noticed a lot of designers I've been talking to are moving towards Payhip because of the fees and things like that on Etsy and everything are getting really high. So hopefully Payhip will stay pretty low on their fees like they do now. I try to keep my patterns reasonably priced. So I guess that wraps everything up for this evening. If you guys need anything, always don't hesitate to reach out to me by direct message. You can PM me anytime and let me know, hey, I'm having trouble with this, or have you seen this, or anything that you guys need. I'm always here. I know that, you know, everybody sees me as a crochet designer and, you know, helpful, but I've been through some hard times too, and I know what it's like, even if you just need an ear and someone to listen and not be a running mouth. I know how difficult that can be sometimes, and I know how lonely it can be when you have a hard time that you're going through. So, again, you guys can always reach out to me. Alright, I'm going to wrap things up. If you need anything, let me know, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Alright, have a great evening. Bye, guys.